haven't been here for a long time, but I'm back, right? There's been a long hiatus, I like to call it. And I'll tell you, so my blog I've been calling GrupoAmos on Colombia. But so these podcasts and video broadcasts I am now calling GrupoAmos in Colombia. A subtle but important distinction. So we have with us today AJ Vassar. And the reason I call it GrupoAmos in Colombia is because these broadcasts are me talking with someone else in Colombia. Straightforward, no muss, no fuss. So, okay, today we have AJ Vassar. AJ Vassar is a personal development coach, mentor, guru. He's been in Colombia for about 3 months doing what he does from Colombia, from Medellin. And that's what we're going to talk about. How you doing, AJ?
Man, I'm doing phenomenal. Thanks for having me here.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for being with us or with me. When I say us, it's the royal we, with we. It's the royal we. Thank you for initiating my broadcast again. I appreciate it. And now we're going to talk about you. Enough about me. Let's talk about you.
Okay.
So tell me, how long have you been in Medellin?
I've been here. It'll be 3 months next week.
All right, 3 months next week. Where are you from?
I'm originally from Illinois, but I moved here from Atlanta. I've been in Atlanta for the last almost 10 years.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell us what do you do? What do you do, man?
So I'm a personal development coach. I really specialize in mental programming. I've had a chance to work with some phenomenal people during my life, from Olympic athletes to professional football players. And I think the best work I've done is probably on myself, and just changing my mental programming and realizing that everything starts in the mind. So, and we've all been programmed one way or another. So once you can change your programming, I found out you could change your life. So I was homeless 4 years ago, in 2014. And it was in my car that I kind of figured out, like, yo, my programming got me here. My program be able to get me out of here. So that's been kind of been my journey in a nutshell.
Wow. I know, we have a tendency to say it's his fault. They did this to me. They're messing me up. They're doing this and doing that. And I imagine you had one of those moments, right? You were in your car and you realized, wait a minute, I did this to myself. Is that how it went?
Yeah, pretty much. It was funny because I was in my car and I was just like, yo, why am I here? Like, this is stupid. Like, I'm better than this. And one of the things I realized was, so I'm working on a couple things now, just dealing with programming. One of them I'm entitling, "It's Not Your Fault, You're a Failure." And so the truth is, a lot of the spaces we end up, it's not our fault, but it's our fault if we stay there.
Okay.
So if you're born in poverty, if you're born in the projects, if you're born in a place where, statistically you shouldn't do well, it's not your fault.
Okay.
But if you decide to live there for the rest of your life, that is your fault.
Okay.
So
it's kind of like once you become conscious of it, then you assume the responsibility for it.
Exactly. You have to assume the responsibility because it's your life. So if you don't want nobody to be responsible for your life, then you can't have anybody be responsible for your success or your failure either. So once I kind of figured that out, and it was, how I figured it out was, just on some really just joking, trying to make light of the situation. And I just started saying jingles to myself, and I was, so now when I work with my clients, I do this. So I'm gonna do it with you.
Okay.
You wasn't expecting this, but I bet you can do most of this stuff, right? So I just want you to finish what I'm gonna say, right? Okay. Like a good neighbor.
State Farm is there.
The best part of waking up
is Folgers in your cup. Folgers in your cup.
So think about that, right? You probably haven't said that in years. Like I don't even see coffee as 4 Folgers anymore, but that's still a part of you, right? And it's like, whoever set you down and taught you that? Like, no one ever set you down and taught you that. You were programmed. And I started realizing that just like we're programming that way, so I want you to finish these statements for me, right?
Okay.
It takes money to make.
Money.
Money doesn't grow on
trees.
Money is the root of all
evil.
Who taught you that? You know what I'm saying? Like, no one ever set you down and taught you that. And then the one that I like the most, especially with people that grew up in the church and are religious, I'll say, all rich people are going to, and then they'll shout hell. And then I'm like, if you program to believe all rich people are going to hell, why are you trying to get rich? Because now you have an inner conflict, and which is why you're always self-sabotaging, which is why you can't get to where you're going. So once I learned stuff like that, man, it was just about really just cleaning out my programming and reprogramming myself. And once I did that, it was amazing how quick my life shifted, because everything starts in the mind. Everything that happens to us in our minds first. So I tell anybody, like, man, people that invest in all of these, online courses and the real estate course and all this stuff, sign up for my 1997 class and become this. Like, unless you've changed your programming, that course ain't gonna help you.
Right.
That's why on average, only 3% of the people that attend courses, that attend live events or take courses are successful in using them, because the other 97% haven't changed their program.
Right. Okay, so AJ, tell me a little bit now about how long it took you to change your programming, and maybe superimpose that on when things started to change. Like, when did you get out of your car? Not when did you step out of your car.
Right.
But when did you stop living in your car? So you give me those 2 layers.
So it'll take you the rest of your life to change your programming, because for every new situation that you face, you're gonna be either programming yourself or you're gonna have others programming you. Okay, so it's a lifelong journey. To see changes happen immediately, though.
Okay.
So I'm gonna answer your question, but I'm gonna answer your question literally and figuratively. Okay.
Okay.
I got out of my car the day I decided I didn't want to be in my car anymore.
It was that simple, right? It was that simple.
That simple. So it took me 3 months to physically sleep in a residence that was mine. Okay. But I got out of my car the first night I was in my car. The very first night I was in my car, I remember opening up my laptop, and I just started writing about my experience. And I was like, and I remember at the end of it, I said, I have no doubt in my mind that I'll go from homelessness to a high rise real soon. That's what I said. That's what I typed in my computer. And that's where I started saying, you know what, you're worth this. And 3 months to the day, I became homeless on Easter Sunday, April 20th, 2014. On July 20th, 2014, I moved into a penthouse in Buckhead.
Whoa. And for folks that don't know, I lived in Atlanta for a while, so I know. Buckhead is the posh area of Atlanta.
Yeah, yeah. And it was one of those things to where I shouldn't have been able to do it. I was trying to get apartments, and the apartments were like, nah, you haven't lived anywhere for the last 3 months. Your credit messed up, So this is real life. I didn't have good credit at the time. I didn't have any money at the time. I didn't have a job at the time. So, but when you make up your mind that this is something you want to do, you can do it. And don't try to figure out how it happens.
Right.
Just go with believing that you're capable of achieving it and you're worthy of it. And all heaven and earth moves aside so you can get what you want.
All right. The universe handles the details, right? All we have to do is set in motion the grand scheme.
That's it. Just like when I decided to move down here, I didn't know how I was gonna make money. I didn't, I had never even visited Colombia. I've never been to South America before. So
a man after my own heart. I'm shoot from the hip. I came here sight unseen. Never been in South America. I got on a plane and got off and was in Manizales, Colombia for the first time in my life. So
I'm telling you,
my man.
That's how it is. You just say, no, this is what I want. Because my thoughts were, if I don't like it, I'll just leave after 6 months. But everything I read about it told me, and me knowing me, everything I read said, AJ, you should like this place.
Okay.
And I was like, cool, so I'm going, and it takes a level of faith to kind of step out there and do some of this stuff. But it's possible for anybody, right? I'm not special, you're not special. Like anybody can do this.
Okay. So you got out of your car, you got into a high rise, you got out of Atlanta, you got into Medellin. Tell me how you like it here, and tell me what you do. What's like a typical day for you? What kind of stuff do you do?
Man, so first of all, I love Medellin, Colombia. This is, if God lives anywhere, he lives in the Caribbean and in Medellin, Colombia. I'm telling you. Typical day for me, man. So the typical day, I'm gonna kind of do a weekly thing, right? So every week I get a massage.
Okay.
I have a person come to my house, give me a massage, and I love it. Like massages are my thing. I'm not into cars, watches, diamond, like none of that. I'm into massages. So that's the highlight of my week. That's how I reward myself for a great week.
Okay.
If I feel like you should always reward yourself. To tell yourself to keep going, hey, you did a good job. These are the fruits of your labor. So for me, my massage is my reward on Friday.
Okay.
But during the day, man, I get up when I want. First thing I do is I drink some water and then I step on my balcony and look at the beautiful mountains. Because we're surrounded by mountains, like we're in a valley. So it's mountains 360 degrees. So I go on my balcony, I look at the mountains, and I just kind of take a deep breath and just get real appreciative. Like, yo, you really did this. Like you were in your car and now you're living in Colombia. And I don't think we as humans spend enough time stopping and seeing and appreciating how far we've come.
Okay.
You know, because there are still a bunch of goals that I feel I should accomplish. I feel like I'm behind a little bit, honestly. You know, I don't feel like I've reached my potential at all. But every morning I want to stop and become grateful for what I have done. So
okay. Well, I'm assuming that you're on a laptop computer in your apartment. Is that correct?
that is correct.
Can you take the laptop and show us a bit of your view?
Yes, I can do that.
Would you please?
Go out here, show y'all what I look at every morning. See if I can turn my camera around. Can I? I'm not seeing how to turn it around, so I guess you all are gonna have to look at me while you see what I look at all the time.
Nice. Nice.
Yep. So I come out here. I work sometimes. There's a school, right? Like I can see it through the other buildings, and I come out here and sometimes, especially like when it's raining, I'll come out and I'll look at the kids playing in the rain. Because it reminds me, like, yo, learn to enjoy everything.
Right.
You know, a lot of us now, when we get older, when it rains, we're like, it's raining. Like, this is gonna be a horrible day. And I go with the kids and they just running, having fun. And it's like, yo, you got to get back to that point where you realize, like, yo, there's fun in everything. I left it open. Let me go close this.
Okay.
I left the balcony door open. Okay. So
what I'm picking up is a couple of things. One, because you said you feel like you're a bit behind, so your reach should exceed your grasp.
Oh, yeah.
And two, we gotta play and appreciate.
Yes. Have to. You have to. I feel like I never want to reach my potential. I never want to reach it. My potential to me is like the horizon on the ocean. Every time I get 100 feet closer to the horizon moves back 100 feet.
Okay.
I want to know there's more that I can achieve. There's more that I can become. And with that attitude, I feel like I'll always want to learn. I'll always be present for it, and I'll never get satisfied where I am.
Okay. You know, I can relate to all of that, and what some of the things that immediately popped to my head are, for example, me with Spanish. I've been speaking Spanish for a while, and I'm pretty good at it. But every day I say something incorrectly, grammatically incorrectly, and every day someone says something to me that I don't understand. And so it's a process. I don't sweat that. It's just I don't sweat it, and I'm learning. So there's my horizon. And the other day I realized that I'm reading in Spanish better. I understand more, and it's easier.
Okay.
So maybe now I have to see what for Spanish will be.
Yeah. So one reason I like being out of the U.S. Right now in this time in my life is because in the U.S. we're not taught the art form of mastery, right? So we're taught results. Like results are all that matters. You know, and mastery is not about results. Mastery is about loving the practice. You know,
process.
You have to love the process. You have to love. I read a quote that kind of helped me change my attitude on that. And it said, at what point is a flower perfect? And I was thinking, like, when is it perfect? And, you know, some people say, oh, it's only perfect at full bloom. And the truth is, it's perfect at every stage of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Even when it dies and goes back into the ground and fertilizes for another flower.
Right, right.
It's perfect. So I look at my life like that. You know, I want to practice mastery more than just, you know, winning. Like winning, I feel like now, especially in our culture, it's like win at all costs. And that's not something that I want to aspire to. I don't want to win at all costs. I want to master at all costs, which means I discipline myself. You know, Jim Rohn said a quote that I love. He said, the easier you are on yourself, the harder life will be on you. And the harder you are on yourself, the easier life will be on you. So I want to be harder on myself so life is easy. Like, that's why I feel like my life is how it is now, because I was so hard on myself. And the more I continue to be hard on myself, the easier it'll be, especially in other people's eyes.
Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting because I have a tendency. I want to make a distinction because I have a tendency to punish myself, and I have a high degree of tolerance for discomfort. So I make myself uncomfortable when I don't need to. But that's not what you're talking about, is it? When you say hard on yourself, tell me a little bit about what you mean, and because you're not punishing yourself, are you?
No, I'm not punishing myself. Discipline is not punishment to me. You know, discipline from, you know, when I was a child, discipline was a bad word. Like, if I was going to get disciplined by my mom, that was like the scariest day on earth.
Right,
you know?
Right.
A lot. But discipline, as I've gotten older, is not punishment. You know, there is a pain in discipline, but I don't think there's a punishment. You know, because I feel like with discipline, you're gonna experience two pains anyway. You're gonna experience the pain of being disciplined, or you're gonna experience the pain of regret for not being disciplined.
All right.
So I would rather just give myself pain of being disciplined. What does pain mean? That means sitting down to meditate for 45 minutes to an hour a day.
Mm-hmm.
That's not an easy task, especially when your mind is going and you like, oh, I got this to do and I got this to do. But discipline myself to sit down and do that. Discipline myself to keep my word.
Okay.
You know, and it can be from the biggest to the smallest things. Disciplining myself, you know, it's 4 things that I try to live by. To number 1, be impeccable with my word, to not assume anything, to not take anything personal, and to do my best.
Mm-hmm.
So disciplining my life to those 4 tasks is painful, you know, but will I do it? And the more I do it, the better my life is.
Okay. Now, you know, I want to mention a couple of things. One is I've met a bunch of people in the past few months, and this is something I'm sharing with my audience. I've met a bunch of people. I met AJ one night at Sweet Georgia Cafes. That's a watering hole that's especially popular with the brothers. So I go there and I feel comfortable. It reminds me of home. I get to talk smack with folks that look like me. So,
let me add, it's not popular with the brothers because there's a lot of women there. It's almost like it's almost like a country club for us. I just want to put that disclaimer out there. So
it's popular because it's home. It's home and it's comfortable. So I met AJ and we didn't talk very much. I asked him one thing and then I said, yo, let's meet for coffee.
Yep.
And in this process, I'm learning that we've got a lot of similar things going on in our heads and in our hearts and in our lives. And so I'm kind of like, wow, feel I feel like I was directed in a certain way, and I'm kind of a little blown away by that. I feel great about it, but it's like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? And I think when we get to the point to where we start expecting that, you know, where you're not blown away, you're like, oh, this is my life. This is how I live. I interesting people that I vibe with, and if we share commonalities, and if we're kindred souls and kindred spirits, it just happens. That is my norm.
Okay.
You know? And once you start looking for that, life changes. That's one of the things in programming is how do you start to look for your amazing life? Because it's right in front of your eyes.
Okay. Now, and the other thing I want to hark on is you talked about pain. Now, I have been in pain. I've been in emotional pain and physical pain. Now, I had a bad week emotionally, and I realized a couple of things about myself, and I was like, oh man, this is and I guess maybe before I realized it, then at the end of that week, I had a physical accident. And I tell everybody I busted my shoulder busting a move.
Okay.
Because I was at a party and I was dancing.
Okay.
And the next day I couldn't move my shoulder.
Yeah.
And so the emotional pain and physical pain, what it told me, basically, full disclosure, that I didn't love myself. And the accident happened because I didn't love myself. And so I started changing my regimen, changing my thinking, and changing my meditation. And I'm still, it's a different kind of pain. If I can show you, let's see. 2 weeks ago, I couldn't do that.
Okay.
Now, and I lost my chair. And I say that I show you all that and say that to say the pain to me showed me where I needed to put my attention, where I needed to put my consciousness. And now the pain is going away.
Yeah. So I want to challenge you.
Okay.
I want to
challenge it.
Because part of changing your programming is changing your vocabulary.
Right.
Okay. You said I had a bad week emotionally. My question is, who made it bad? So, and I'm gonna tell you why I say that. I'm gonna tell because I don't believe you had a bad week. I believe you had an enlightened week that showed you didn't love yourself. So now that's gonna make your life better.
Yeah. That's kind of like, is the cup half full or half empty? If you look at it, that I had the week I needed to have
exactly
to get to this point.
Exactly. See, and that when I started realizing, you know, I we don't have enough time to go into my whole story, but you know, I'm a single parent. I'm a single. I come from a single parent household. My father died when I was 8. He wasn't in my life anyway, and I grew up under some weird circumstances because I'm the product of a preacher that stepped out on his wife.
Ooh.
Okay. And I was still raised in the church.
In the same church?
In the same church. Okay, so you talking about dealing with a lot of programming of listening to people say my father was a very bad man. I won't use, the words that was used, my father, you know, and growing up, and then, when men are told you're just like your father, that's supposed to be something that makes them feel proud, like, wow, I'm just like dad. Whenever I was told you just like your daddy, that wasn't a good thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So so that's my start. And then I went through the process of all of that. But for me to say my life, my childhood was bad, makes it very difficult for me to learn the lessons that my childhood taught me.
Okay. Okay.
So my childhood was enlightening. And because I now look at it as enlightening, I see so many, I can extract wisdom from my childhood now because I don't look at it as bad. And I don't think there's not too many things in my life that happens that I look at as bad. I may not understand them.
Okay.
I may not like them. They may be painful. There's a lot of adjectives I can use, but bad is not one of them.
Wow. Okay. Wow. I like it.
So once it's almost like this. Your mind is so powerful, right? That you literally can control your whole reality by your words. If you tell yourself you can't lift your arm, you will not be able to lift your arm. Because as soon as you say I can't, your mind shuts off to figure out how. Okay. But if you say I can lift my arm, just not very far, or I can lift my arm, it just hurts, or I'm lifting my arm as high as I can, or my arm will be healed. Your brain starts healing yourself. And slowly but surely, it's a process. Like you said, you go from here to now you're here till you'll be here.
Right. And I think one of the pivotal moments for me in this whole process was I went to the doctor, and the doctor said you need surgery, and I was like, whoa, hold on. What do we do in between? What are some of those steps?
Right.
And he was like, you need his basic deal was you need surgery. And that's when I told myself, I'm healing myself without surgery. I'm gonna heal.
Yeah. You can. Like, that's the thing that most people don't understand. We can all heal ourselves. Like, that's how powerful your mind is. You can heal yourself. The problem is you have too many people in your ear telling you what you can't do instead of telling you what you can do. So you're even being programmed on that front of what you can and can't do. But really, think about it. We do so much already. When you fall as a kid and scrape your arm, give you a great example. Look at this right here. So I had an accident playing football down here, and I banged up my arm and my knee. I didn't tell my body to create a scab.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I never told my body, hey, heal me with this scab. Like, create a scab so I can be healed. My body said something's wrong, let me heal it.
Okay.
The same thing happens whenever we do anything to ourselves. The body knows something is wrong. We have to get out of the way and allow it to heal it. Learn the lesson from it and allow it to heal it. What we do emotionally a lot of times is we keep picking the scab off as soon as it starts forming because we don't like how I feel.
Right. And the scab is there, and the scab protects so that the healing can happen from within.
Exactly.
Okay, I want to say something so our folks know. You said playing football. I want folks to know because we're in South America, and football in Spanish is basically soccer, and football in South America is soccer. But you're not talking about soccer, are you?
I'm talking about soccer. Well, nobody can see my body type, but I'm a big guy. I'm 6'3", I'm 250 pounds. I played football, American football, most of my life, played all throughout high school, in college. And I came down here and they started talking to me about getting on the football team. And I was like, nah, I'm old. And I even had to check myself and say, what's old?
Right.
You know, old is a mentality.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I love the game. I'm very, especially down here, since they haven't trained their whole life. I'm very dominant.
So you putting moves on folks.
Oh man, I'm hurting people. I'm hurting. You know what? It's fun. It's giving me a chance to become a part of a community. Because when you move to a different country, sometimes it is hard to meet and hang out with natives because you all don't have a lot of things in common.
Okay.
So football for me has given me that community. So I just love being with the guys. Like I told you earlier, I'm actually getting ready for a game today. We're heading to Manizales, which is where you first came to when you came to Colombia.
Yes.
So this will be my first away game, spending the night, all that good stuff. So I love it. I'm 36. Some people be like, some of my family is like, what are you doing? And I'm like, yo, I live right. I eat right. I exercise. I do everything I need to do. And I feel like my body, and I've learned how to heal myself.
Okay.
So I don't worry about everything that can happen. I think that's why we don't enjoy life, is because we're too worried about everything that can happen. And I worry about everything that I can create. And right now I'm creating an amazing life and I love it.
So 3 months ago when you came down here, did you imagine you'd be playing American football in Colombia?
First of all, let me tell you this. I didn't imagine I would be playing American football after I took off my pads in college. I was like, yo, I'm done with this. Like, yo, I'm going to miss it, but I am done with football. And that went, especially when I came down to Colombia. Come on, man. Like, no idea. I didn't even know they had football down here.
Right.
When I was first asked about playing, I was like, man, I'm 36 years old. Like, I have nothing to prove. I've gotten the college scholarships. I've got a chance to run for professional teams. It didn't work. All right, that part of my life is over, and it's just funny how life works, man. Now, the sad part is what got me back into football was I almost got into a fight in Colombia. To be honest, that's how I got back into football. I almost got into a fight. It was just a random situation. I think I disrespected someone that I think it was a culture thing. Like I didn't look at it as disrespect, but I think he did. And old buddy jumped out the car on me, and I was like, "Oh, you." And I realized, but like I said, I told you, I don't believe anything bad happens to me. I realized that since I stopped playing football, I have had no place to let out aggression.
Gotcha.
I boxed for about 6 months, and that was probably one of the best things I ever, outside of football, it was one of the best things I ever did because it gave me a chance to just release aggression, and to just let out other emotions that I had.
Okay.
And I realized, wow, that's what football was for me growing up. That's how I made it out of my circumstances. I always knew there was a season where I could unload on somebody my aggression and get praised for it. So, So that's kind of what I'm doing now. So I don't take therapy, I take football.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, AJ. Um, as we close, tell me what's in the future for you. What do you want to do? What are you planning on doing? Short term, midterm, and long term. Where's your life going?
So I wrote a book called Day Grades: How to Turn Success into a Reality. It's being edited now. It should be released in a couple weeks.
Hmm.
So that'll be coming out, and that'll just tell. It teaches people how I actually went from being homeless to living this life, and I learned how to grade my days. I've learned how to string together a group of days and make them a success, and then be able to quantify it and learn how to get better by doing that. So hopefully not even hopefully, that has already touched a lot of people. I've let people read the preview of it, and just from reading the preview, I've gotten just a ton of compliments and just my vulnerability in it. And I mean, I'm very open in the book, from the goals I've had since I was a kid, and how I'm creating that life. I'm also working on an online course right now called Program to Succeed, where I'm showing people how to reprogram yourself.
Okay.
How to change your programming so you can succeed in life and whatever you want to do. I don't think there is one way to succeed. I don't think you have to follow any particular path. I believe that all of us was put here to follow our own paths. And wherever your heart leads you, it leads you there for a reason. Like whatever you desire in life, you have that desire for a reason. Like nobody knows where desire comes from.
Right.
Why is it that I desire to be in Medellin, Colombia? Because the weather is between 60 and 85 year round, and other people desire to be in Denver so they can, snowboard and ski and all that. That's crazy to me.
Right.
That's totally crazy. I moved to the cold. That's crazy. But it's two different type of desires, and those desires were given to us for a reason. So I believe in just going after your desires, and so that's what I'm doing, man. I'm going after my desires, and and in the process, I believe I'm freeing people from the programming they currently have to create a programming that gives them the life they want to achieve their desires and their dreams.
Excellent, excellent. Well, congratulations on your book.
Appreciate it.
Congratulations on your success and your continuing success.
Thank you.
You have a website, or how can folks get in touch with you?
The best way to get in touch with me is probably social media. All of my social media is under the same thing, AJ Vassar. It's AJ V as in Victor, ASSAR. Get in touch with me there. If people want you want a preview of the book, get in touch with me there. I'll send you a preview in PDF form. Send me your email address. I'll get you down. Contact me that way. That's probably the best way. Don't do the website. I hardly ever check it right now. Everything is social media.
Okay. Well, I will share the link to this interview and on through my social media outlets. And wow, I'm just thank you so much, man. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome, man. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity. This has been just even having you ask me to do an interview, I'm like, this is my first interview in Colombia. Like, I'm doing it.
Onward and upward. And this is the first broadcast that I've done in almost a year.
Wow.
And I'm planning it's going to be a weekly thing. So yeah. You're the first start, the first restart, and this has been fantastic for me. So thank you again. AJ Vassar, personal development mentor, coach, telling us how to reprogram ourselves, telling
Gotcha.
us that we can do it. Fantastic, man. Fantastic.
I appreciate you having me on, sir.
So this has been Grego here with GrupoAmos in Colombia, and our guest AJ Vassar. Thanks, folks. Be well. AJ, enjoy your game. Play safe, and
Yeah.
enjoy Manizales.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
All right, folks. Look, there's my hey.
Thank you.